an estimated population of 18 million, Lagos is presently one of the 10 megacities of the world. Although it is the smallest state in Nigeria, it is also the most populous. The concentration of industries, factories and multinational institutions in Lagos confirms its position as the economic and commercial capital of the nation. According to a United Nations 2005 projection, its population will exceed 20 million by the year 2010, making Lagos one of the world's 5 most populated cities. It is therefore not surprising that the increasing population of Lagos has led to an increase in the demand for an essential resource, water. As the government continues to work tirelessly to meet the water needs of both residential and industrial areas in the state, there is another reality which is often ignored: the fact that increased water supply means an increase in wastewater generation. Wastewater, also known as sewage, is the fresh raw composite of fecal waste and spent water originating from all human activities, carrying human waste, washing water, food preparation waste, laundry waste and other waste products of normal day-to-day activities. Every day, each person in Lagos consumes an estimated 100 liters of water. It is a scientifically proven fact that 80% of water consumed ends up as wastewater. This translates into a whopping 1,444,000 cubic feet of wastewater generated every day in Lagos State, and all these must be adequately treated to ensure a sustainable environment and improved public health. The Office of Drainage Services is one of the 2 offices under the Lagos State Ministry of the Environment. It is the office charged with the responsibility of managing wastewater in the state through its sewage department. Ideally, for every water supply scheme put in place, there ought to be a corresponding wastewater disposal scheme. Sadly, this is not the case. An overview of the sewage situation in Lagos State over the past years reveals gross abandonment. The sewage systems of the city are poor, and in the not-too-distant past, bucket toilets which had to be evacuated by night soilmen were the norm. Wastewater treatment in Lagos was practically non-existent. The road to change is not a smooth one. The most obvious challenge is the absence of proper sewage systems in many residential and corporate structures. An amazing number of homes built without toilets exist, and although the use of pit latrines is now illegal in the state, it is not uncommon to find houses where they are still being used. On the other hand, most modern buildings today have water closets, or WCs as they are more commonly called. As is usually the case in places where central sewerage systems are not available, sewage is supposed to be flushed from these WCs through pipes into septic tanks where they are stored. Sewage stored in septic tanks for a period of time is called septage. This septage would then be evacuated in vehicles and taken for treatment or disposal. However, some houses and even corporate organizations with WCs have no septic tanks and soak-away pits. Instead, their pipes lead from the buildings straight into surrounding drainage canals. When the rains come, the sewage is washed away through open ditches into the lagoon. Unfortunately, during the dry season, when the flushing action of rainfall is no longer available, drainage channels become blocked with solids, thus clogging these drains and creating stagnant ponds of contaminated water. In other cases, many houses that do have septic tanks neglect them, and they can often be found broken down or filled to overflowing. Even for sewage which goes into the septic tanks, challenges abound. It is generally assumed that out of sight is out of mind, and so if wastewater disappears into the ground, everything will be alright. But this is not the case. By far the most dangerous threat untreated sewage poses is the threat to public health. According to the World Health Organization, 80% of diseases in developing countries are waterborne, and untreated sewage is the chief culprit.
Well, the implication right now is that there is still a level of we have a level of what we call leakages here and there in terms of pollution to the underground water and the environment at large as a result of the inadequate number of treatment plants that we have. Most of the septic tanks you even find in private tenements, most of them are leaking. And what you find out is that all this thing goes down, percolates into the underground water and constitutes danger to the environment and to all of us as a whole. So we believe that if it's not properly managed, then it can lead to epidemics.
Surprisingly, the sewage challenge in Lagos is not restricted to the residential areas occupied by the lower class alone. This is Victoria Island. Although most of its residents belong to the upper middle class of society, the same sewage challenge plagues the area.
I think is no different from what faces quite a number of other areas in Lagos. Basically, we find situations where septic tanks are cleverly being dislodged into the public drains.
Across the state, sewage disposal has been the method of choice in controlling sewage as opposed to sewage treatment. The large number of breweries, food processing industries, chemical industries, together with solid waste from houses, sawmills and domestic sewage contribute to the pollution of the Lagos estuary. The estuary is a sink for disposal of liquid, solid and gaseous waste for the entire city. This is the Ido Jetty plant, where all septage from Lagos Island and part of mainland is brought for disposal. This sewage dump site is the oldest in Lagos and currently receives about 70 discharges on a daily basis. Until recently, sewage discharge here was untreated, but now pre-treatment is achieved through stabilization and odor control, while government has made plans to construct a decentralized wastewater treatment plant for treatment of evacuated septage in 2010. Untreated sewage degrades and devalues the environment, destroying aquatic life and the ecosystem. It also increases the maintenance cost on drainages and canals and encourages the proliferation of water hyacinth, which impedes water transportation. Today, the Ministry of the Environment through the Sewage Department is making progress, having initiated a gradual move from sewage disposal to sewage treatment. This move is part of a new course mapped out by the department to correct the decadence of the past, with its sustainable sewage and sanitation strategy